Hello, hockey fans from coast to coast.
Hello, hockey fans from coast to coast. Hi, I'm Rick.
And I'm Paul.
And this is a show called The Red Light District. It's a show about hockey, primarily about the Montreal Canadiens and the upcoming season. We will also be discussing the rest of the National Hockey League, transactions, and what's going on with each and every team.
The show will be broken up into several segments. The first one is slapshot stats about the forwards, the goal scorers, the offense. After that, the big D, the defense, the guys that protect the goalie.
And after that, we'll have a segment that is entitled The Puck Stops Here, which, if you're a hockey fan, you can pretty much decipher into the goalies.
Yep.
And we'll be talking about the goalies, the saves, the big saves, the non-saves, and prospects coming up, and old guys on their way up.
Yeah.
And the last segment will be called the penalty box, which will be talking about suspensions and the goonery that sometimes goes on in hockey.
Plenty of that.
Which, the Americans tend to frown upon, even though they love it just as much as we do.
Oh yeah, when the fight breaks out, they're just jumping up and down and screaming as loud as anybody else.
That's right. So this is our show. This is what the show is about. And I think tonight we can talk about...
Let's start with the big D. I want to talk about Brisebois.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
What happened with Brisebois? What did the Canadiens do this week?
Well, they signed Brisebois to a one-year contract, $700,000 US. If he performs well, he can make double that in performance bonuses.
But it's a big joke because Patrice Brisebois, for those of you who don't know, spent the first 14 seasons of his career here in Montreal.
Yeah.
He was a top prospect when he came up.
Yeah.
He won a Stanley Cup with the team in 1993.
Yep.
And arguably, for the first 2 or 3 seasons, he was a good defenseman with a lot of potential.
Yeah.
Then...
Well, things started
happened?
going south. His plus-minus rating, what was his last year? Minus 31?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Just after he signed his $4 million contract.
Of course, that's usually the way it works.
Because the year previous to signing the contract, he had his best year.
Yeah.
He had, I can't remember the point total right now, but...
It was pretty good.
Pretty good. So they signed him to for a 2-year deal, I think it was. For $4 million a year.
Something like that, yeah.
And then he had the worst 2 seasons of his career.
Yeah. Got booed out of town, literally.
Booed to the point where the general manager, Bob Gainey, had to step in and tell the fans to quit behaving like sissies, I think he called them. Something along those lines, for booing Patrice Brisebois.
Yeah.
So Brisebois left town.
Went to Colorado for 2 years.
For 2 years. He sat out 46 games last year with a bad back.
Yeah.
And then the Canadiens, instead of going after Teemu Selanne, who is unsigned right now, an unsigned free agent.
A goal scorer, something Canadians need.
Desperately. Instead of going after that, and maybe Gainey is talking to Selanne and his agent, who knows.
I hope so.
But we signed Patrice Brisebois, bring him back. Don't know if his back's going to work or not.
Well, he had an operation and it's feeling good. But that, you never know. With a bad back, never goes away. So
now we have, if Patrice Brisebois plays well, then it could be a good sign.
Yeah, well, he does have experience.
Which is good for the young kids.
Yeah, he knows the game, so he can help the young guys. Unfortunately, by signing Brisebois, now there is no more room for the young guys to play on the team. So he doesn't really have anybody to teach, does he?
Yeah.
So
Paul pretty much summed that up. I have nothing to say to that. I just want us to get Selanne at this point.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you team him up with Saku Koivu and they should do great things together.
Saku Koivu and Teemu Selanne are both Finnish.
Yeah.
They both played on the Finnish national team and won gold medals.
Yeah.
And they're Koivu is a playmaker.
Selanne is a goal scorer.
So there you go.
Yeah, it's a perfect match.
So why Selanne sitting at home, counting his 1 cup and his many millions of dollars instead of practicing somewhere around Montreal?
Yeah.
We don't know.
And look at the year he had last year. Was it
82
40
points?
plus goals?
82 points?
Yeah.
82 points, and how old is he?
Well, what, 34, 35?
Something like
Or
that.
more,
He's older than
maybe?
that, isn't he? He's 37, 38?
Yeah, he's getting up there.
Yeah.
He's the same age as Brisebois. Now, if it's okay to sign Brisebois to play a very important position like defense, how come it isn't okay to sign Solani, who only has to score goals?
Well, because the Canadians have a tradition of bringing back
Yes, well,
ex-players that played for us at the beginning and then end their career here, and they also have a habit of going out and getting first-round draft picks, even number 1 draft picks.
Yeah.
At the twilight of their career.
Yeah.
For the last 2, what's the last example of that?
Yeah, figuring they can relive past glories. What was the last example of that?
What's it? Oh, it's not that tough. Shouldn't be that tough. Last example would be just a couple years ago. Wow, who was it? Stay tuned. The next show.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll look in the archives of the.
Well, that's how memorable these guys are when we get them. Well, that brings our first episode to a conclusion. And just remember, we're only one click away.
And we'd like to thank all our viewers for tuning in to our pilot episode. I want to thank everyone, and feel free to send in your comments, good or bad, about what we've done tonight, because even negative feedback is only going to help us help you.
Well, there's plenty of haters out there, so we'll get some of that for sure.
So, remember, keep 2 hands on the stick, and from Rick
and Paul,
have a good night.
And pull down your pants and slide on the ice.
Keep what you say.
Pull down your pants and slide on the ice.